Horsemen rise, your time is nigh. You felt death once, now no demise.
It is over. Your search is done. Let fate choose now, the righteous one.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Whew, I am tired from running from the Headless Horseman yet again and not getting a mount.
I got mine a couple years ago.
Yeah, the reality is I got mine a few years ago as well.
Oh, okay.
I just figured that made more sense to open with. Well, welcome,
sure.
everyone. Agony of Positivity. It is the show before Halloween. I am Ross, joined by...
So...
There we go. Yeah, so we're not going to do like a full-on Halloween episode or anything, but we got, from listening to some people, if we'll talk about some AEW this week, some people were horrified in the wrong way about some of the stuff. Just always strange to me. Probably not much video game stuff, because I think we both played Hearthstone push-button games.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot that I played.
Yeah, I played like one phone game one day. It was a busy week somehow. And then we got Predator, monster movie kind of stuff to go with
Yeah.
that. And then I think that might be it for the show. So, did you have any excitement during the week or anything?
Let me see. I'm going to say no.
All right.
I just worked. Just worked, came home, worked some more.
That was kind of my week. So, hopefully next week we'll calm down. Do you want to start with like Predator and that kind of stuff that we were talking about?
Yeah, and this kind of leads into Predator. So the guy I work with, we saw this picture in a magazine while we're waiting to get ready to start the day at work.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like a mad scientist type thing, and I didn't know what we were talking about. But I was like, yeah, it's like you can dress up for Halloween as Dr. Frankenstein here. And he said, well, that's a scientist. It's not the monster. And I was like, you do know that Dr. Frankenstein is a scientist, and the monster is not called Frankenstein, right?
It's Frankenstein's
Really?
monster. Yeah.
He's like, really? I was like, yeah. I'm like, the scientist is Dr. Frankenstein. He's like, I always thought the monster was Frankenstein. Like, yeah. Oh, that's wrong.
That is a very common thing. There was someone said, I wish I could remember where I saw it, or I don't know how to find it easily. I don't think it would just pop up, but that she could have put at the end of the book that, and as you know, the monster walked away or something, like there was a kind of like, oh, Frankenstein, like, no, that's Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
And he's like, you can call me Frankenstein, it's okay. I don't mind. Something to that effect, that just the craziness of it.
Yeah.
All right. I am going to hit, we're just going to use the horseman laugh. That's kind of scary to get into this.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm going to kick us off before we get to the... So, when I was little and I saw Predator, it was scary. Like, it was a monster movie to me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I was, 7 or 8 probably when that came out in, like, 88 or something.
The first Predator came out at I think it said 1987.
Okay, so I was like 7 or 8, depending on the time that it dropped, possibly 6. So it was scary to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a more lifelike scary story.
Okay.
So here's your scenario. You're headed to work.
Yeah.
Your job is to clean up a elementary school.
Okay.
As you approach, you realize Halloween is just 2 days away.
Yeah.
And the day you're walking into the building is the Friday before Halloween.
Yes.
You notice all the children are dressed up as different creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear the most horrifying words. Oh no, I dropped a cupcake on the floor. That's okay. The janitor will get it.
Yeah.
And then you realize every single room that's happening.
Yeah.
Over and over. So I haven't slept since yesterday. The amount of sugar that was just osmosed into my body from walking around.
Oh, well, let's say, what would you do? Eat the cupcakes?
No, just like sugar just filled the air heavily.
Gotcha.
No, I just thought it was funny because I was like, I literally filled a large not like super large, but like, you know, like the dumpsters you would see out back of like a fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
Halfway filled with just trash from holiday parties.
That's funny.
Like, just looking at it, I was like, this is ridiculous. It took me basically double the normal time. Like, I had, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's like a big plastic container on wheels. Like a gondola almost.
Oh, yeah.
So normally I'll take out like 2 of those for a day of trash. I went out like 5 or 6 times. There's just so much stuff. And just sugar. Someone did glitter in their room. So now, well, glitter never goes away. Much like safety glass from a broken windshield. So...
So I assume you always clean a elementary school?
I've been in different ones, but that's typically what I'm doing now.
Gotcha.
So before we get to that, I see where you have the library ghost cam that we talk about every year.
Oh, yeah, the WillardGhost.com, yes.
I will try to put the link in the show notes, but it looks like they've gotten better quality cameras.
Yeah, I was noticing that, like better HD cameras or something.
Hold on, I'm going to try to pull that up. Could you send me a link real quick?
Yep.
And we'll kind of explain what's going on here. But yeah, because like I think last year we were kind of picking on them, just because like looking at the things, it was like, well, yeah, this is exactly what you see all the time with like Bigfoot pictures and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they've gotten more high definition cameras.
So, yeah, but if you're curious, there's like the story about like basically the ghost in the camera, or ghost in the camera. I mean, that would make more sense why like people see all these ghosts. They're actually inside the camera.
Yes.
But yeah, so you can go there and it gives you like a scroll through, but you can check out the different rooms. It looks like they got a couple new camera angles as well.
Yes.
So we got the children's room, which is a new one. The basement hall with the red. I bet people see stuff in the basement hall. Because it's a dark hallway with red exit lighting.
Well, especially at night, because I know you never look at this. I looked at it a couple nights ago. Around like 2 o'clock or whatever, and yeah, it's like completely dark. So I can see people, oh, there's something in the dark type thing, you know.
Yeah, well, because this year, so I'm looking at the stairway one, and last year, it just constantly looked like there was something there because the resolution was so low.
Yeah.
But so, do you think that now with like them having the high def cameras, does this mean that they will never ever have a sighting again because nothing will be obscured?
Well, so I remember a couple of years ago. Now, granted, it might be the crappy cameras they had. I was looking at the children's room area. I think it was the children's room. Oh, it was one of the rooms. It was completely foggy in there. So I don't know.
Someone set off a bug bomb.
Left the windows open. Fog came in. Who knows?
Let's see here. All right. So we'll jump on here to Predator. So yeah, you had mentioned like basically like because you were watching, I guess, Predator 2 at the time.
Yeah, I was watching Predator 2. I wanted to watch a Halloween movie, but I didn't really want to watch a horror movie.
Right.
I was like, well, how can I get? I was like, you know what, Predator's pretty spooky, so let me watch some Predator.
So I was horrified of Predator when I was little, because it was like you kind of said, like it's an action movie, but it's kind of a horror movie.
The first one's definitely a horror movie compared to the second one. Well, compared to any of the other ones. Yeah.
Right. Like, yeah, because it was like they were being hunted.
Yeah, because you didn't know anything about what was going on.
Yeah.
The Predator one.
Even Schwarzenegger only had like one or two one-liners, so he had to be scared.
Yeah.
But yeah, you had like all kinds of people in it. I forgot about Jesse Ventura back when he was still the body and not just like the old unhappy guy.
Yeah, he's a pretty big guy in Predator.
But yeah, like
the greatest scene in Predator is when Jesse Ventura dies, gets killed, and his buddy sees him, and he's grabbing that minigun, and then like he just starts weighing lace to the jungle.
Yeah.
And then like Arnold and the rest of them come, and they don't know what he's shooting at, so they just started shooting too, and they destroy this jungle, man. And I can always. In my mind, I always picture the Predators sitting up in the jungle, up in the trees, like, what in the world?
Well, yeah, I'm sure it was. So, at that point in the Predator world, like, we don't know what this thing is, because it's got, like, this crazy active camo, like, that you'd see, like, in Halo games later on, and that kind of stuff. But the more you learn, it's like an alien that's like clearly hunting them, like based on the technology. So
yeah, in the
you
first
would assume
one,
like that Predator has probably seen that play out just constantly, like because you have to assume that it travels planet to planet.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think here because it's been a long time since I've seen that, but yeah, there's
So, like the first one, you really don't know that it's like the audience don't know that it's kind of an alien until probably halfway. Well, see, now I'll take that back. So, as a kid, I didn't understand the spaceship flying around Earth.
Yeah.
And then launching a probe. I didn't understand that as a kid. Being an adult now, knowing what he is now, I was like, oh, so they do show that the Predator is landing on Earth. So. Yeah,
but if you're not old enough, you're not going to know.
Yeah. So I guess they kind of tell you that he's a alien, but you really don't truly know that he's an alien till like halfway through.
Right, when they see like the technology and the stuff that's going on, like the laser sight, which I assume weaponry. Like I'm not going to stop and look it up, but I assume weaponry was not fully at the point to have laser sighting during that, like where that was like an advanced thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's always been infrared, I guess. Maybe back in the 80s they had it.
Right, or that was like the new thing. It's like when Lawnmower Man was like, look, this is what virtual reality is going to lead to.
Yes.
Thank goodness that virtual reality never led to anything, because it sucks.
Well, and I understand the technology back then, but Predator Cam, I mean, his infrared is terrible. I mean, because when he takes his helmet off, he can't see crap. Because when he was fighting Arnold with like the last duel, I guess, because I guess he wants to do it old school.
Yeah.
And just wrestle Arnold in the jungle here. When he takes his helmet off, I mean, it is terrible. I mean, everything's just red. And I'm thinking, why in the world would you take your helmet off? Because you can't see nothing.
Well, because he couldn't see anything because Arnold slathered himself with that mud.
Well, no. Well, this is after, because Arnold, he punches Arnold or something like that into the river, and he washes the oil or the mud off him. So at this point, he can see Arnold, but he's like, you know what? I'm going to take my helmet off. I want to make it fair because I can't see nothing without my helmet on.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, and then he like kind of loses, but does, if I'm remembering correctly, he blows himself up in most of the forest.
Yeah, so it gets to the point where Arnold's trying to like trick him to crawl underneath this log because he has like a booby trap set up.
Oh yeah,
Well, the predator realizes that there's spikes sticking out of this log, so the predator's like, well, "Let's go around." Because Arnold's like, "Come on, get me!" And the predator looks and he just goes around the log, and Arnold's like, "Oh crap!" And
which is
as he's
excellent though. That was the easiest counter to that, so they went
yes,
ahead and
yeah.
did it.
So he goes around the log and he's getting ready to stab Arnold with his spike hand. His like Wolverine gloves that he
Right.
has, and he's standing right over the big log that's holding the spikes. So Arnold just hits the booby trap, and the log falls on top of it, falls on top of the predator's head, and that's how it. So Arnold basically beat him, but the predator just put a cherry on top by blowing himself up.
Predator was a sore loser,
Yes. He's, oh
like
no, you didn't beat me.
like a bad guy, like any
Yes.
bad guy. The
Mhm.
yeah, and then so in two, that's when it's like in the city with Glover, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, this one
And
also, because this was 1990, so I was like 10. So I was still afraid. Like, I don't know if you had this. Like, there'd be trailers that came on
hmm
for movies, like the horror movies, and they'd be scary.
hmm
So this was in that category of I would do my best to not look at the trailer.
Sure.
Like, I'd hide my
Sure.
face.
Yeah. So this predator chooses to fight in L.A. in the future because it'd be the future for them. Because the movie was released in 1990, and this was taking place in 1997. So
So they did a large jump of 7 years into the future.
yes, yes,
Now, they didn't
because
do like the crazy future where there were flying cars or anything.
no, it's kind of like how L.A. is now, probably from
Right.
the pictures
Like,
I've seen.
pretty much literally the same.
Yes. Uh, like gangs have taken over, and for whatever reason, the Predator, because he likes heat, apparently. 'Cause they kept going with that theme that he likes heat, because it's like really, really hot
Hmm.
in LA. The only thing I didn't understand about the whole heat thing, is everyone in the movie's wearing coats. And I don't know what it is about LA, but I mean, I assume if it's 95, 97 degrees there, it's probably the same like how it is here.
It's a dry heat, on the ocean front.
I'm not gonna wear a coat though.
Now, I was joking about the dry heat because I would
Yeah.
have to assume you have some humidity there.
Either way, but everyone in the movie's wearing like coats, and
Yeah,
I'm like, why are you wearing a coat for? It's 97 degrees according to your movie. So
yeah. I always thought it was in New York for some reason.
no, it's in LA,
Yeah, Los
and
Angeles.
no.
I like their
So
description in Wikipedia: a technologically advanced extraterrestrial hunter.
yes, yeah. So the Cubans and the Jamaicans are fighting each other in this movie. And for whatever reason, this predator takes interest in Danny Glover because I don't know why.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Danny Glover's pretty sweet, so
Sure. So he takes interest in Danny Glover, and so at first he's killing the Cubans and the Jamaicans, gang members, and then he's like, well, you know what? I want to attract Danny Glover. I'm going to start attacking his police crew. So that's how Danny Glover gets involved in all this.
yeah, it felt to me like by the end of this one
hmm
that they were turning the Predator, like, so this is obviously rewatching it later in life. Like, there was, I would assume the Predator became popular enough that it's like, oh, we can do a lot more with this if we
Um,
keep this race or this character around.
yeah.
So he got a face turn. He's a good guy, or
Who,
he's
the
headed that
Predator?
direction.
Um, See, I don't see you say that. And I don't see that in the second one because at the end, I mean, Danny Glover beats the crap out of this Predator. This
Yeah.
Predator, I don't know if the one Arnold fought was more of a veteran, but this Predator gets his butt kicked pretty badly by Danny Glover because Danny Glover cuts his arm off, steals his weaponry. I mean, they're going hand to hand, and because Danny Glover kills this Predator with his boomerang, Xena warrior princess thing that he has. And as he's killing them, the whole ship is filled with predators.
Right.
Yeah, and like the chief of the predator race, I guess. I assume. I guess that's where they're going with it. And throws Danny Glover a musket from the 1700s. So the predator pretty much, I think, I took it as the predator was saying, "We've been around for a long time. Just because you kill him don't mean nothing." Type thing.
I took that more as he was kind of getting like a trophy.
Well, yeah,
kind of
I
deal,
took it.
I guess. I mean, I'm also reading that on the Wikipedia, so that might have put that thought in my head. But yeah, because I mean that does kind of set up where they have like a like rules almost of engagement, like they kept it 1-on-1 or something.
That's true because
I don't know.
yeah, because there was like 10 of them on the spaceship, all locking on to Danny Glover. And Danny Glover's like, "All right, well, who's next?" And they're like, "No, you won fairly," type thing. And yeah, so maybe you're right. Maybe
Although, how crazy would that movie have been? Like, if after he had that fight, he took on like 3 of them.
Yes.
And just whooped them as well.
Yes. And they're like, "Man,
like,
this police guy is pretty good."
We need to stop coming to this planet.
Yeah.
Until we come back here, because the aliens are here and we got to fight them in an underground pyramid. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but that happens.
The underground pyramid. Is that the one where they fight the aliens too?
Yeah, like they're putting some kind of like labyrinth thing. Like these people are exploring something somewhere, and there's like aliens in there, and then there's like the one predator who kills the big alien. I don't know all the different names of the aliens, so I'm sorry for alien enthusiasts.
Because this predator teams up with the woman, right?
Yeah. Yep.
For whatever reason.
And then teaches her that the alien's skull shield thing will block their acid.
The only thing I didn't understand about that movie, I'm thinking, well, what is the woman actually bringing into the fight here? Because the predator's doing all the work. Because I think she does stab him or distract the alien, right? But the predator's doing the main job, right?
Yeah, I think it was that somehow they were like they were put into they got themselves into a bad situation.
Yeah.
Like during the time of this trial or whatever it was, I think is what it was. It's been a long time since I've seen it, so
sure.
I hope people aren't like, "Oh, finally someone's going to talk about Predator," and then they're listening to this because man, are they going to be mad if they're super into it?
Sure. Yeah, the only ones I can give any kind of information from is the second and the first one. It's because I watched it last night.
Yeah, I've watched that other one twice because I swear they re-released it with a different name.
Yeah.
But I'm probably mistaken, but I could have swore it was like, I know I've seen this movie under a different name, and I probably just forgot what I watched.
I was looking last night. There's like 2 other movies that I never watched. There's called The Predators.
Yeah, I saw when I was putting it in, I saw that pop up, and I was like, what?
Yeah, that was like released in 2018, I guess. There's one where they're fighting a bunch of convicts or something like that on a planet.
Starring Predator.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they get a bunch of convicts and put them on this planet. Okay. And then there's the Alien versus Predator movies. There's 2 of those.
I don't know. Well, there's apparently Predator: A Reimagining.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I have no idea. There's The Predator official trailer from 2018. Yeah. I don't remember that one at all.
Yeah, that's the newest one, I guess.
Okay. Man, I'm way behind.
I don't think. Well, if you look at it, they didn't spend any money on actors, so I think they're thinking that the Predator is going to bring it home there.
I mean, they got Topher Grace, Eddie Brock.
Yeah. Now, see, that'd be a neat movie. Venom versus Predators.
I wonder if they've done that.
I know they've done Batman versus Predator.
I think Venom would smoke a Predator. Well, I don't know, because I'm sure they have access to fire. And a telephone, because telephone ringing or a match lit and the symbiote is useless.
That's what I'm saying. So the Predator probably, once you get, all you do get like a little tuning fork and you beat the the Venom there.
Now, Batman with the symbiote, that'd be interesting. Because if you get rid of the symbiote, you still got to deal with Batman.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I suppose that's why the symbiote suit on Spider-Man was actually good, is you still had Spider-Man without the suit.
Yeah.
Eddie Brock, you have disgruntled journalist that doesn't even have a blog back then.
Now, see, I thought in the cartoon he was a ex-convict. Or was that Carnage I'm thinking of?
No, Carnage was Cletus Cassidy. He was the one that was in jail. Because Eddie was there, but the symbiote came and broke him out. And then there was like a remnant of the suit left on the wall or something. And Cassidy got that and became Carnage.
Gotcha.
I think that was the original origin.
Storyline for it.
But that was so, like, it's sad that was decades ago. So
I was reading about why Arnold wasn't in the second movie.
Yeah.
And the official reasoning he put is like he felt that the Predator movie was not going to give him any more sophistication in movie because he wanted the more sophisticated roles. And I'm thinking,
like
what
Mr.
movie
Freeze.
have you done? What movie have you done that's sophisticated? It's like Arnold just be.
Total Recall.
Yeah.
Arguably,
like,
maybe that was better.
Well, let's just be honest, Arnold. You wanted more money. That's why you wasn't in the second one.
I mean, I could kind of see where it's like, yeah, this isn't giving me what I want at the time. Hold on, let's find out. Arnold's movies after Predator. Let's see what he immediately went on to. Well, he did do Terminator 2, True Lies, Jingle All the Way, and Junior.
So I like Jingle All the Way, but I can see why people wouldn't like that.
Junior was. I've never seen Junior, but it's ridiculous. He did.
Also, the one with him and Danny DeVito.
Twins.
But
yeah, Junior had Danny DeVito too.
Yeah, anything with Danny DeVito in it, no, I'm not gonna watch it.
I was hoping there'd be like some kind of something.
Shakespeare.
Yeah. Him and Ian McKellar and
yes.
Patrick Stewart.
Yes.
He's like, perhaps I can't do an Arnold. I don't have sausages to shove in my mouth to simulate the screaming. But if he would have been trying to get knighted, be like, I don't think that works that way for Austrian.
Yes.
And then somebody would have mistakenly made like an Australia joke, and it would have made him angry.
I just laughed. I'm just like, sophistication. I don't think it's sophistication in Arnold movies. I just don't. Hey, in the adult services ghost cam, there's an old guy. There's an old guy right now reading a newspaper.
Is it a ghost newspaper?
No. And I'm assuming it's a current person and not a ghost because he's wearing a face mask. Unless this ghost is from the flu epidemic era.
Right. Well, I'm going with the newspaper as the ghost.
Oh no, no, the newspaper looks like
It was
has
shredded before its time.
if you go over there to it right now, it looks like it's one of those newspapers with the wooden stick through it where you can't steal it.
So it's a ghost tree that's come
Yes.
back to life.
Yes. Yes.
Very interesting. All right. Well, do you want to move on to wrestling?
Are we done with talking about ghosty movies or anything like that?
I think so. Or at
Okay.
least I don't have, like, I haven't watched anything on TV short of,
Yeah.
like, some wrestling in weeks.
Yeah. See, haven't watched anything either. So yeah, that's fine.
I have a bunch of stuff that I want to watch, but it just hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
So you're big into horror films, right?
Uh, Kinda. Not like I watch all of them. I like
Yeah.
some of the characters, and
Okay.
I like
So
like this the stuff behind them. Like actually watching them is scary, so I don't like that.
okay, like
Which makes me a horrible horror movie fan, but I'm still a fan.
so give me because I think the characters are ridiculously dumb. But so give me a movie that you think the character's pretty neat in that you're like, it's a pretty good movie.
Like that's a horror movie that has
That's a
good
horror movie.
characters.
Well, a character that you like, I guess, because you just said you like the characters.
Yeah, like
so
well, I mean, I'm a fan of Jason from Friday the 13th.
okay,
You know, he's not monologuing and cutting promos on anybody. He just
Sure.
gets right to it.
yeah.
He does have his bit of a code where he doesn't kill children.
Now I heard. Also, he doesn't kill children.
No, now if you're a teenager who's having premarital sex at Camp Crystal Lake,
Yeah,
I have bad news. But if you're like 7, I don't think he's going to kill you.
really. I didn't know if he had that kind of code. Now I never seen
Also,
them.
I'm assuming there's regulations on what you can actually put into a movie. So
Yes, yes. Now I have not seen them, but I've heard that the Rob Zombie Friday the 13th is kind of updated. Jason, is this true?
did he do that?
I thought
he did Halloween.
Look it up. I'm pretty sure that Rob Zombie did a Friday the 13th.
Because there was a newer
Jason, yeah.
Friday the
I think
13th.
I thought he did that.
I gotta look here. Oh yeah, okay. I didn't realize that was Rob Zombie. Yeah, I saw that one and it was okay. I actually thought the kill. So, to me, one of the things that Jason did that was good, like his kills were always pretty creative, as far as using environment or how they happened. I thought they were really lame in this one.
Okay.
Like nothing crazy happening. And I might be forgetting it, but it just seemed like real straightforward stuff. Like, oh, I'm going to stab you, or I'm going to hit you with this, or throw you on something. There was never anything where it was like, oh, wow. Like, one of the ones I remember, like, early on in the series is guy's, like, all horrified and backs into a tree. And they throw, like, you see, like, a leather belt, basically, come around the tree. And then, so Jason's got him with a leather belt, and then he's got a stick through it, and then he twists it till it gets so tight that it cracks the guy's head.
Okay.
So stuff like that. Nothing from this remake really stuck out to me.
Okay. The
Like
only
that.
one, because I don't know why, I have no idea why I saw this one. The one I saw the most was Jason in New York, whichever one that was.
And that is definitely not the best one.
Yes, and because I've heard reviews of it, people are like, "This is garbage."
Like, the only thing good in that one is when he sees, like, I don't know if it was like the Islanders or whatever the hockey team was, but they had the hockey mask on that was like his.
Oh, yeah.
And he kind of
Yeah,
tilts
yeah,
his head at it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some ridiculous stuff that happens where it's like, oh, that's funny. But it was
Well,
definitely less horror movie than just
more comedy.
I
because
guess.
I remember there's a boxer in there,
Yeah.
and he's like wanting to go one on one with Jason, and so he punches Jason a couple times, and then Jason just uppercuts his head right off his head,
And
right
don't
off his
forget
body.
that the head bounces down into a
Yes.
dumpster
Yes,
and the lid closes.
So yeah, but the all horror films to me, they're just I don't know, they're just so ridiculous. I can get into them.
At a certain point, like they've upped the level so much
Yeah,
that it gets insane. Like Jason in space is completely insane.
yes,
But
I did see that one. Yeah,
like, it's like you guys tried real hard, and I don't know that you could have done better, but you probably shouldn't have. Let's
I
see.
remember Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah, that was excellent. I thought
Really?
I liked it because Freddy. So I always hated Freddy, and I liked Jason. So in this
Sure.
movie, Freddy is clearly the bad guy. Jason's the baby face.
Sure.
Jason gets like the big comeback when he like wakes up and then like is running Freddy through the fire and through the side of the cabin and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, see, I remember that movie is because the teenagers were kind of like rooting for Jason, but Jason really doesn't care about them either, type thing. So I just thought that was kind of funny. Like, yeah,
Right. Yeah. They basically knew that Jason was their only hope against Freddy. So,
sure.
but like Freddy was between the two, Freddy was worse.
But see, I always thought Freddy was more of a dream thing.
Yeah, but like it pretty much became like you're just constantly bringing Freddy into the real world to kill him.
Sure.
And then it doesn't work. And then
Sure.
there's another movie. So, 'cause
See,
I remember
that's-
going to see Freddy's Dead, the Final Nightmare in 3D,
Yeah.
where his head just flies at you. And it was like, oh man. And like I remember my dad at the time was just like, yeah, that's not the last one. No chance. I was like, but they killed him in the real world.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I never liked about horror films is that I don't mind a bad guy being super OP,
Yeah.
but I want the bad guy to be able to die. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? That's my only problem. And they don't ever want to kill the bad guy, which I understand because they want to make more movies. I get that part,
Right.
but I don't know.
Like in the first movie, like I'm just saying, like you create like a new monster that's like a Jason kind of like unstoppable killing machine monster.
Yeah.
So the first movie you kill it, or you think you killed it. It's like
Yeah.
under reasonable circumstances you'd be like, oh yeah, that person's dead.
Yeah.
So okay, second movie they come back, assuming there's any information at all, like, oh, we should probably like dismember this thing or
Sure.
something so that it can't come back.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think the Predator concept for the first movie is great. Because, yeah, you kill one predator and another one will come. It's a different type of predator.
Yeah, like
You
it's
know?
an entire race of hunters that can all
Yeah.
have different personalities or whatever.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Like for longevity of a series, something like that's probably better. I say that as I'm sure there's probably like another Friday the 13th being filmed right now.
Well, see, I remember watching this one stupid movie. I can't even think of what it's called. Jeepers Creepers, maybe?
Yeah.
Because the guy's trying to get, like, eyeballs and, like,
Yeah, I like that
noses
one.
and whatever else. See, so the first one, if I remember correctly, how it ended is the old man, or the guy's like, has Jeeper Creeper dude tied to his barn or something, and he's waiting for him to, like, reanimate so he can kill him again or something like that.
I don't think that was the first one.
Oh, okay.
Because, like,
The second one?
it could be. Because the first one, the bad guy, just spoilers here for the ending. If someone's not seen Jeepers Creepers 1, I recommend watching it. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But the bad guy wins 100%. Like, there's no no doubt about it, in the first one.
Okay.
So now the second or the third one, I don't know, but I don't remember the monster thing being tied to anything in the first one, unless that's like the very, very beginning of the movie and I missed it.
No, it had to be like the second one. Maybe the second one, because one of the guys that Jeeper Creeper dude killed,
Yeah.
in the first one, is in his ghost or whatever is in the second one.
Okay.
Trying to warn people or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works in the Jeeper Creeper world, but
Yeah. I just remember it being like, wow, the bad guy totally got away on this one. Like,
sure.
crap.
Well, because he's like some kind of demon thing, right? Or is
Yeah.
he a monster?
Yeah, I think it was like a demon, essentially.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or if they didn't call it a demon, it was a demon by everything except by name.
Gotcha.
So, all right. I'm thinking here. Oh, we had the Titanic thing pulled up. Do you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, we can talk about it for just a little bit. Conspiracy
right.
theories.
Yeah, so I'll let you kind of go over this real quick.
Well, there's not really much to go over. Other than not Rockefeller, what's his name?
J.P. Morgan.
J.P. Morgan apparently was a greedy guy. And the conspiracy is his ship, Olympia, is that what it was?
Well, so there's like different things that go with it, but like the one thing is like it was not the Titanic that sank. It was supposedly like insurance fraud for the Olympic.
The Olympic.
Which, like, a more recent article I found, like, the insurance wouldn't have covered the Olympic. But
Gotcha.
even if it wouldn't have covered it, if it reimburses them for part of it, and you're getting something back instead of nothing. So that still seems like the motivation. But yeah, one of the...
Because the Olympic was the older ship.
Yeah. And then the other thing is J.P. Morgan planned the disaster to get rid of the other millionaire bankers. My understanding of that part was that, like, the whole World Bank thing, like, he was for it, and there were a bunch of people who were against it.
Yeah.
And then they died.
He sabotaged the sinking basically.
Right. Which the person I was reading, they're talking about, like, well, if it's true or that, like, how could he have caused that? It's like, well, they don't have to necessarily have really ran into an iceberg. Like, it could have just been, like, bombed or something, and then near an iceberg or something like that. Like, there's not like a lot of technology and stuff back then.
Sure.
So
I don't know how he would have been able to do it. Yeah.
Well, if you pay off the captain to go, like, oh, this is the route you guys are going on, and then you pay someone else with another boat to come and do something, or you pay someone to sabotage it from the inside.
Yeah. I mean,
it seems a bit elaborate, but it's not unreasonable to think that something like that could have happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's not unreasonable to think that he paid off somebody to ram the boat into an iceberg. I mean, that's a pretty... I mean, I would be asking a lot of money.
Well, no, I'm not saying that, like, they ran into it. I'm saying, like, you could get everyone to say that it was an iceberg. Like, you pay off media people, and then... Because it's not like there's cameras of it happening in real time.
You're saying so the people reporting it, you could change the story.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like
I mean, that makes more sense, especially back then.
That's super sinister.
Change the narrative of it,
Yeah, like, I mean, that's like, when we talk about, like, evil or bad, just, like, by accident versus, like, a Batman villain, that's definitely way more the Batman villain. But if the basis of it is that he was trying to kill other millionaires, then you're going with people with absurd money trying to off each other. So I think it's more reasonable in this case to be like, okay, yeah, I guess somebody could. Now, I'm not super into the, like, I don't even care about this as a conspiracy, other than it's interesting to think about.
Sure.
When you originally linked it, I was hoping that it was like, there's people who are like, no, the Titanic just never sank. And like, it just went somewhere else. And then they put like a fake boat. Like, I was hoping for something just really out there.
Gotcha.
To go with some of the other out there stuff.
This is more grounded in reality, as much as you can get real, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the Titanic was a ghost ship.
Well, yeah, because I read through like a whole bunch of different things, and like one of them was talking about like where they switched out the Olympic for the Titanic, but like there's photos from the time that show like different number of portholes, and like it seems like the portholes were like a big thing to it.
Sure.
Again, I'm reading this at like 2:30 in the morning, so I could have got some things off, but like just stuff didn't add up. Like this thing that I'm looking at, it's the same one that, or it's a different one than you're on. Mine's from like the Daily Beacon or something, where they're saying like looking into the insurance, it wouldn't have covered the Olympic thing. But again, if you're just trying to get like, if you were to do insurance fraud on your car, and get it totaled because the repair shop said it was totaled, and you get a check for the money, in that you're like, you don't necessarily care that you lost some money on it. You're just trying to recover some of it somehow.
Sure.
So, but yeah, no, maybe I'll just start a conspiracy that the Titanic never sank. And then it like it ghost shipped somewhere.
Yes.
And it had I don't know, just it'd have to be pretty elaborate to get any traction.
The Titanic actually was remodeled into a warship for World War II, and it fought.
And then
fought Hitler.
And then the Nazis stole it and traveled and retrofitted it to travel to the moon.
Yes.
For the Nazi moon base.
Yes.
I mean, that would be way more exciting. And then the Nazis developed the Predator and sent it to Earth to fight Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
Because he was a disgrace to Austria. I think we just wrote a movie.
Yes. A very bad movie, but yes.
But it's going to be one of those movies that's like an hour and 20 minutes. So you're just like, your head's spinning by the end of it. You're like, I don't know how they fit that much stuff into a movie. And it didn't make any sense. But I would watch it again.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because.
Well, yeah.
I didn't know there were multiple theories to it. I just knew like the kill the other millionaires theory,
which is plausible for another millionaire.
Yeah, I suppose so. Like again, like you're setting up the motive as the most like dastardly thing. So dastardly means would be within the scope of reality there, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or I'm just way more willing to accept that people are horrible. Because like I was telling you, like one of the things is like during the insurance part, the full line here is like, I think this theory is bogus for numerous reasons, but one is because it's been proven the Titanic's insurance wouldn't have been enough, would not have be enough. That's the actual wording. I'm not having a stroke to cover that of the Olympic. So that just simply wouldn't make any sense to do. But then this part is, I also want to believe that mankind isn't cruel enough to do such a thing and cost so many people their lives on purpose, let alone affect thousands of people's lives through those losses.
And like I told you, this guy obviously does not know, has not read a history book.
Yeah, like that's overly optimistic.
Yes.
So, all right. Shall we move on?
Yeah, we can talk about, wrap it up with wrestling if you want to.
Yeah, let me bumper up.
Well, I don't know what the hell's going on here, folks. Looks like he's just wearing blue. This is a revolution.
You know, we're probably already in the day and age where no one has any idea where it looks like he's just wearing blue knee pads comes from that's in that bumper.
True. It's true.
So if you're wondering, that was from an NWA Power when it originally started and was on YouTube.
Yep.
And Aaron Stevens, Damian Sandow, had flesh tone tights on. And
we might be living in an era now. They don't even know who Damian Sandow is.
Oh man, yeah. Well, I don't know what to tell you. If not, go look up Mizdow and but yeah,
which I thought was great.
He had flesh-colored tights pretty much. I don't know if that was intended or he thought they would be a different shade, but yeah, it looked like he was naked wearing knee pads. It was just super weird. Fortunately,
Yes.
the commentary called it out.
Yes.
So going back to Dynamite, all the way back there, there was CM Punk's Dynamite debut. He fought Bobby Fish.
Mm-hmm.
You've had an opportunity to see a few Bobby Fish matches lately. What do you think of him?
I would, with the name that he has,
And
I would team him up.
That's his real name. So,
Yeah, I know. I know. I kind of agree with what Jericho said. It kind of sounds like a mobbish character type thing. I mean, this is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I would team him up with an Andrade and go with that angle because Andrade already has a kind of mob boss character,
Right.
I guess. They're
Fish
slowly
can be his hired muscle.
Yeah, they're slowly like getting that narrative out. So
If you do that, do you add the to his name? Bobby the
Bobby
he
Fish.
becomes Bobby the Fish.
yes, Bobby the Fish. Yes.
Throw
Oh,
on
no,
like
that's-
Man Kowalski at the end.
I mean, that's what I would do. I would team him up with Andrade, make him a henchman type thing.
I mean, that's not a bad idea, really. I haven't.
Because I would also team up 2.0 with Andrade. Because they have the kind of henchman lackey-ish thing
That'd be
about it. That
interesting.
way they can be the kind of the goofs. Because you always need goofs.
And they're not
And
bad at the talking either. So they
That's what
can
I'm saying.
do some of it, and then Andrade does like the serious closing.
Less Andrade speaks is probably the best. Because, I mean, I like Andrade, don't get me wrong. But his broken English, man.
His accent is very thick.
It's very strong, yeah.
Fortunately, that's why I said like have him do the closing part. Where like in the old days, the Shield, like Ambrose did the majority of the talking. John Moxley currently, but Roman just was like believe that or believe in the Shield or like something like a one-liner, and it seemed to work pretty good at the time.
All I can say is Andrade needs Chavo back. Because
Chavo doesn't know how
reason
to
he-
follow the rules.
Well, yeah, but you know why? You know he got wrote off because he's on a TV show or something, right?
What I saw on television live in front of me is Chavo did not do what Andrade wanted, so he got fired.
That's fine. He can somehow get his job back, for whatever reason.
Andrade seemed
But-
pretty unhappy.
They need to team Chavo back up with Andrade.
I mean, he definitely needs somebody. So, but if they're gonna do like an alliance with Aleister Black for a while, that could be good. Or I'm sorry, Malachi Black.
Yep.
Then that could be all right because Malachi is fine talking.
Sure. No, yeah, he is. He is.
But let's see. But yeah, so I mean, overall though, like in ring, like, do you find Bobby Fish pretty good?
Yeah.
Because you didn't have really a ton of exposure to him, did you?
No, not because he was part of the that one faction that Adam Cole was part of, right?
Yeah, Undisputed Era.
Yep.
So I didn't see him a ton, honestly, but I mean, obviously, I don't think he's ever going to be like your world champion or anything, but he's definitely that legitimate guy that can put on a good match.
Guy.
I think what Sean Spears got mad about, like the being a good hand kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think you could put Bobby Fish with just about anybody and get a good match out of them. That, like, he's been portrayed as not an easy person to beat.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're doing like that, kind of like what they always called Kane, like that gatekeeper role,
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of in there for it. But, yeah, so this match was good. I guess I'll follow up asking you about Bobby Fish. Like, so you've probably seen more CM Punk now than you ever had before.
That's true.
Do you like his current in-ring style?
Yeah, because I've read a lot of things, and he does make a good point that wrestlers today need to sell more.
Yeah,
and he's pretty good at doing that. He tells a good story with how he's limping, how he did the elbow drop on one leg and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. He like tries to keep things consistent throughout.
Now this match ended with Bobby Fish. Do you think that was a mess up, or do you think that's how they designed it? Because there was like, CM Punk was mad. You could tell he was staring daggers into the ref for counting it, because Bobby Fish, I guess, barely beat the count.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because I don't see, because he hits the GTS and like there was like a weird kick out attempt or something.
Yeah, it was. He hits 3, and then right when he hits 3, he throws his arm up.
Yeah,
he does a kick out. I think it was designed that way to make Bobby Fish look strong.
Yeah, like something to give him a little bit out of it, because it does seem to be like Punk's thing is he's trying to at least help, even though he's winning, he's trying to do something for him. Yeah, because there's no way. This is speculation, but like finishers get kicked out of in AEW, but not like just for no reason. Like, I'm sorry, if someone's kicking out of the GTS, the first person to do it is not going to be Bobby Fish.
Sure.
Now him like almost surviving the GTS, because like, I mean, he got more offense in on Punk than Punk did on him. So I could buy like, if the first move of the match was the GTS and he kicked out of it, if they tell it right, I'm okay with that. Like, and then Punk goes on and is just dominant through the whole match because he's just so rocked by it. But yeah, like for him to like almost be able to kick out, I feel like that's okay. But yeah, there's no way that was like an incorrect pin. I just can't believe that Bobby Fish is the first guy to kick out of the GTS.
Yeah.
Like, if Sonny Kiss kicked out of the One-Winged Angel, like, no. Nothing against Sonny Kiss. It's just like thinking of someone where it'd be like, well, that'd be ridiculous to have them to be the one to do it.
Yeah, I mean, and because I keep reading stuff, they're like, CM Punk looks gassed in the ring. He looks like he's out of shape and everything. I think that's by design. I think he's doing that on purpose.
Yeah, I don't think he doesn't do anything. Like, I'm going to say that, like, he doesn't do anything in the matches. Yeah. He does, like, some body slams and takes, like, a top rope bump. Yeah. But, like, for the most part, like, I would say the Darby match was the most exerting match that he had. But, like, he's really taken it back to, like, I mean, honestly, it is like a Bret Hart style where... Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I think
it's all the stuff in between the moves, the facial expressions, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, his big spot is basically body slams.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
Well, that's what I'm like... I'm thinking, do you guys not understand what he's doing? He's building that character. Is like the character's older now.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing, and it frustrates me if people don't see that, you know.
Yeah, at this point, so if he was like really, I don't know, like go back and watch Butcher against Moxley. That's blown up. That's gassed out.
Yes.
That is not what CM Punk is doing.
Yeah.
To me, it does not look like someone who is gassed. It's like what you were saying. It looks like someone who is portraying being a little more tired than they are.
Yeah. Maybe it's a great comparison. He reminds me a lot of Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, where he's acting a lot with his facial expressions. Exactly, he's tired or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, it's an easy. I mean, he's use some like Bret Hart spots, so it's very easy to make that comparison.
Sure.
But yeah, like it's more the stuff in between. I look at Ryan Daniels. I have to pause for the name for him. Ryan Danielson. Like a lot of his matches are just like hold exchanges and strikes. Like when we get to Rampage, because like the only match I watched on Rampage was Kingston and Bryan, and that was like right before the show. Like I was finishing that up, but like midway through the match, nothing big had happened, and Eddie Kingston hits a drop kick, and the crowd reacts for it because like that's the first big move, really.
Sure.
It felt like just sitting there watching it. And then they do like a couple big things, but there was really nothing like super massive in that match, but everybody was still into it.
Sure. Well, and I think like a lot of AEW wrestlers need to learn this. Learn what CM Punk's doing. Jericho does it. As much people hate, Cody does it too. They demonstrate what it'd be like if you're actually fighting. You're going to get tired. You're not going to be like the Lucha Bros, where you take like 5 power bombs back to back and you're just up ready to do more moves.
Yeah, the Lucha Bros are, and I understand, like they've basically wrestled in Mexico probably more than anywhere else, and it's totally different there. But yeah, their adrenaline rush must be extreme.
Yes.
Because again, I have no problem buying into you get fired up in the middle of the match and you can take some punches and like not even react to them, or you can like have like a fired off like sprint ability here and there.
Yeah.
Because like just for, like I've had back issues where like I could barely walk, but in the right scenario, I could function like normal for a few seconds to get something done. But then then there was just agony afterwards. So
sure.
Like, I can disbelieve, or, I find it reasonable, some of the stuff, like, oh, your knee's really messed up, but it's not really broken or anything, so you can run on it, but it's going to hurt you afterwards. Like, that's okay. I've experienced those kind of things with different body parts.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you've been, like, concussed because you took, like, a top rope Mexican destroyer to the concrete through a table. That had Darby's skateboard on it or something, and then like 2 minutes later you're just running around like normal. Like no.
Now when they're wrestling the Young Bucks, I think they slow down more because I legitimately think they are getting hurt, and they're like, okay, I gotta slow it up because. Well,
the Young Bucks figured it out. Like you actually just do the move to them.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, you're not selling my super kick? Guess what? I'm just gonna super kick you for real.
So yeah, I just think that AEW wrestlers, because WWE's pretty good. I'll give WWE a credit for that. They are pretty good at doing that, of selling moves, I guess.
A little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it varies by like match to match and who you have in there and what they're doing. Like Dante Martin, like the one week he had like the bad leg, so he was doing all his moves one-legged or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Seeing someone do like a one-legged springboard, that's way more impressive to me than someone just doing it. So, like, not only did that make sense for the match, but it let him show off that, hey, I'm actually more athletic than you even think already. Not only can I jump over the moon, I can do it one-legged if I have to.
Yeah.
All right, so Dynamite, we had MJF basically got to beat down Sting.
Yep.
Or this is the follow-up from that. Like, Darby is finally back.
Yep.
And poor Wardlow.
Yes.
Like, so what I have learned, so one, don't feud with the best friends, because the commitment is longer than marriage for a lot of people.
Yes.
Don't mess with Darby, because no matter what, at some point, you're going to take a thumbtacked skateboard to the back. So, going to avoid him. If I ever get like a younger body and I become a wrestler that's good enough to make it there, these are all things I'm going to do. But yeah, so he's got the Sting gimmick now too, where they just don't let him talk very much before a big match, I guess. To see how it goes.
That's probably the. He's not bad. I mean, he's better than Jungle Boy as far as personality goes, but
right.
Yeah.
Well, at least we know Darby gets mad.
Yes.
And has a devious, vengeful side to him.
And apparently, Darby is going as Inspector Gadget for Halloween because that's what it reminded me of when he was in the audience.
It says here it was an Invisible Man Halloween costume. So I don't know.
It very much looked like an Inspector Gadget. But anyway, yeah.
Let's see. So Shivani is talking with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She's going to fight Abaddon on Rampage. I don't know the results to that match yet. I assume she wins, but I don't know.
I can't imagine a world where Tony Khan will allow Abaddon to be the champion, but who knows?
So this is like prediction because I didn't see like the match on Rampage, but I could see having Abaddon have a competitive match just to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like you always hear in the old days where they would do like house show, like a test change, like the whole Dusty finish thing, where you think somebody won the belt, but then they really didn't. It was used to gauge like a crowd reaction.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, so we might be able to do this. Supposedly, famously, there was the one where Jericho beat Triple H for the world title.
Yeah.
And it was reversed later on, but it was a test to see if
people could buy it.
Yeah. So
yeah, sure. I just don't see that character because I didn't like the Undertaker being a world champion just because. Okay, the Dead Man Undertaker, the biker Undertaker, sure, but
right. Big Evil.
I don't know. Yeah,
the Big when he was full on the Big Evil version, that was probably the one that I liked. They are making a Dead Man Inc. Figure again.
Okay.
If anyone's into that kind of stuff. So, good news, you don't have to try to find an old one that's like $100.
Sure. See, I like that Undertaker. The demonic Undertaker, where he was like some kind of cult leader.
Yeah, Ministry era.
Yeah, I mean, that was all right. I think I'm sour on that Undertaker just because of how it turned out.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people that way.
Yeah.
All right, we had Sammy against Ethan Page specifically.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted Ethan Page to win this match.
Yep.
I think he didn't like. I mean, he got like the Shooting Star Press and all that.
I just think Ethan Page would be better. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Sammy.
Yeah.
I just think he needs more time to get in more feuds. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's been around forever, but I'm not feeling it. Like, maybe there wasn't enough of a build-up to it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Now, if the whole thing is for Miro to get the belt back off of him, I'm fine with that. But, yeah. Because, like, Sammy's getting the belt, but he's also involved in this America's Top Team Dan Lambert thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't hate it by any stretch, but there's other things I would like to see. Sure. So we'll have to figure it out. But apparently, if you're in the inner circle, you are constantly in danger of being out of the inner circle due to losing a match.
Apparently, yes. Apparently, yes.
Like, I just don't understand.
Well, because I heard that they're like, if he loses, he's out of the inner. I'm like, who made that? I mean, that wasn't even part of the original. Whatever.
They've done that so much that I just don't care about it. Like,
yeah,
I guess the underlying story would be that people are just trying to break up the inner circle.
Yeah.
But it's not like they're on some kind of a tear that they're going to win all the belts.
Well, so Tony Khan has, I've read him lots of comments about him that he's the one writing the stories and everything.
Yeah.
So he seems to like factions, but he don't really do anything with the factions. Because the Pinnacle, I mean, other than I don't know. The Pinnacle really doesn't do anything. The Inner Circle really doesn't do anything. I don't know.
I think so. This is kind of how I think they're using the factions. Is one, you can have like a faction warfare thing going on, but
Yeah.
it's also you're just like there's an association between groups of people. So
Yeah.
you can have someone have a match, and then when someone's out with them, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So you don't have to make the faction, like, the individuals are more important than the faction, and then
Yeah.
the faction is in the background. Where a lot of times it's like, oh, the faction is the big deal, and there's
Sure.
just people in it.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it's the reverse approach, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Where the faction is like the tie together so that if there is interference or something, somebody can come out and it is in the realm of making sense. But you have these guys aligned together. And
I
then,
hope.
I don't know.
I hope whatever happens. I hope they if Bray Wyatt joins AEW, I hope they get rid of the stupid Hardy family crap. I hate Big Money Matt and bring back the Broken Matt with Bray Wyatt or something.
I like that you've gone to the point now that you hate Big Money Matt so much that you would take Broken Matt.
Oh, I've always liked Broken Matt. I've all Matt Hardy's characters.
That's your
Broken
favorite?
Matt's the only one that I like because I don't know. He's just, Big Money Matt's terrible. He's the one I hate the most. I'm awful.
Now, is it you hate him because you're supposed to, or you just really don't care about anything they're doing?
The character is just not interesting to me. It's just like, I mean, he's just like he's a bad imitation of the $1 Million Man. And I'm sorry, the only person that's been able to pull that off is the $1 Million Man. So,
Right. Well, because
I don't know.
DiBiase was built up. Like Matt Hardy's not winding up; he's winding down. So it's harder.
Sure.
And
I
honestly,
don't know.
anytime you do anything with money, you're going
Yeah.
to be compared to DiBiase.
Exactly. And the Broken Universe is weird, and I don't know. I just like it more than I do Big Money Matt. So
Right.
I hope the rumor that, because he's been hinting all week on Instagram about him and Bray. So
Yeah, so we'll see. They did like a Bryan Danielson, Eddie Kingston promo where
yeah, Eddie Kingston gets into it.
yeah, I mean Bryan was technically in the bad guy role, sorta.
Yeah.
Like not strong, but like it was more like, oh, I'd kind of like if I didn't know both people, I'd be rooting for Eddie Kingston a little bit to shut Bryan up.
Yeah, but Eddie Kingston's like I said a couple weeks ago. Him and Moxley are I don't know. They're borderline anti-heroes
Yeah.
/ crossing over to bad guy area.
Right. All right, so we get some Lucha Bros stuff. I hope Alex Abrahantes has the black eye for the rest of his career in AEW.
Yes.
I think that'd be great. All right, so we got the women's, the TBS title tournament. Serena Deeb and Sheeta.
So before you get into
Oh.
this match, are you hoping that FDR beats the Lucha Bros at Full Gear?
I think so.
I wanna-
Because match-wise, getting to see Lucha Bros on my TV,
Yeah.
like I'm always gonna I'm going to pay attention to their match more than I'm not. Like there's matches that happen that I might have Hearthstone going,
Yeah.
or I might be like looking at Twitter on my phone or something like that. More
Well-
than paying attention to the match. Lucha Bros, because Phoenix is going to do something, and on the day that he actually just flies in the middle of the ring,
Yeah.
I don't want to miss it.
Well, if you want to see how Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard would have done with
Nowadays,
today's wrestlers, I guess this would be a great experiment because FDR very much wrestles like an old school type of wrestling.
yeah,
So I'm kind of curious how those two styles, because the Lucha Bros, like you said, they definitely do flippy doos.
yes.
So I want to know how FDR is going to deal with flippy doos. so yeah.
I'm pretty sure that we're going to get a very good match out of that.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Like, I think FTR is better with the belts.
Yes.
But again, I've become like an old timer who's like, you gotta have heels with the belt. It's all about the chase. But I genuinely find that more interesting most of the time.
Well, and FTR legitimately like being champions.
Yes.
I mean, they legitimately like wrestling. I mean, you could tell it. I mean,
yeah, and they want it to be a big deal. So
I think putting the belts on them would be better. Yeah.
Well, I read something and I thought it was hilarious, and I could see it happening, is they would love to see FTR show up with the AAA tag belts and work events for them, but like have it be against like some undercard guys or something. Like every time they try to do like a flip or a moonsault, they just punch them. Like that's their counter to everything, is just like move out of the way or just punch them, like something like that.
It's going to be I wouldn't mind seeing their matches in Mexico, because I've seen some AAA matches and they are like this out there. So I would want to know how FTR functions in an environment like that.
Because I think we both watched that last AAA, because it'll get streamed on Twitch a lot of times.
Yeah.
Just because they didn't have like a U.S. distribution deal or something weird was going on with it.
Yeah.
But it is off. So there's stuff that's legitimately good.
Yeah.
But then a lot of it, for my taste, is I am watching basically people who should have a trampoline and be in a backyard or somehow in a six-sided ring, and it's just chaos.
Yeah.
But it's so entertaining.
Yeah, it's just people that wants to do flippy doos, and they're like, "Hey."
Now, I would never watch, like, I couldn't watch it every week.
No.
But they're like once a quarter big show or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, if I can watch that, yeah, I'm gonna watch that, because I'm just gonna sit there texting you like, what just happened? I think that guy's dead. But it was amazing.
It's like the guy was in the ring, and for whatever reason, he wanted to jump into the audience and break a table for some reason.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
And if you don't get the U.S. commentary, you don't even almost know. You're like, oh, there was a senior citizen who climbed on the top of the lighting rig and just dropped to the ground.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
AAA is insane. But then you'll have like the Kenny Omega versus whoever match, and it's like, oh, that's like a normal match, minus Ric Flair showing up.
Sure.
I think that was because he fought Andrade over there. But I mean, that match was good.
Yeah, it was.
But anyway, so Deeb and Sheeta. Sheeta gets the victory and gets her 50th win, and moves on in the tournament. Good match. Like, Serena Deeb is like super good.
I would have let Serena won. I would have let her.
Do you do like a downfall for Sheeta story, or you just make Deeb like her? I just can't beat this person.
Make her the person where she just can't beat her for whatever reason.
Yeah, until she finally does for like a belt or something.
I mean, that's how you build future storylines. I mean, just yeah.
I mean, they can go into like they're gonna have a rubber match now or whatever eventually, but at least we know it'll probably be. My assumption would be it'll be a while before we see that match.
So does Demolinko have a daughter?
No,
because
not that I'm aware of.
Because she's called herself the woman of 1,000 holds, and
yes.
I'm like, did Demolinko give you that, or are you related to Demolinko? Because if he didn't, you can't be calling yourself that.
I'm going to assume, since they have Dean Malenko with them, that he has blessed that.
That's fine, if that's the case.
And and thank goodness, she actually wrestles a technical style. Like, if Lance Archer were to be like, I'm the man of 1,000 holds, like, no, you're not. Now, if you want to be the man of like beating up jobbers 1,000 different ways backstage, then that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, that's. I was always kind of curious about that, because I'm like, if Dean Malenko didn't give you that name, you can't have that name.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jericho called himself the man of 1,004 holds because he's a piece of garbage, but.
Well, that's different, because Jericho's being a piece of garbage.
Yeah. All right, so there's some stuff with Leo Rush and Dante Martin. I need to see Leo Rush in the ring again.
You said it right. There's some stuff with Leo Rush and Dante. I don't care anything about this storyline.
Dante Martin is like 14.
Yeah.
So he has plenty of time to get personality. Leo Rush always, I need to see him in the ring again because it's one of those, he talks a bunch of stuff, but then once he's in the ring, you realize he can back it up. But not having seen him in the ring for a little while,
Yeah.
I'd like to get back to that.
Leo Rush was good with Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know he's more capable than that,
Yeah.
like in the ring. So I didn't, that part of the presentation, I don't think I cared for, but man, he was good at that.
Sure.
Like, he is excellent at talking. It's just I don't care about it right now. I need to see something. So the Moxley against 10, that match.
Yeah.
I expected a slightly more competitive match out of this.
Well, especially because they was building up 10 all week.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, that's part of the plan. Like,
Yeah.
You will not convince me that Jon Moxley will not definitely be considered a bad guy by the end of this thing.
Sure.
Like, zero chance. Like,
Lay down.
he's going to murder Orange Cassidy in front of God and the world. And then he's going to do something horrible to Bryan Danielson. And then he's going to interrupt Hangman's coronation.
Yep.
And then he's going to, like, cook a horse and eat it or something.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I want Jon Moxley back into the title picture again.
If the purpose is he's going to be Hangman's first feud to give him something, like, legitimate to fight,
Yeah.
and the intent is Hangman wins that, I'm fine with that.
Because I think MJF is going to be eventually fighting Hangman.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I'm still on the train that MJF's going to be the one to take the belt off of him.
Sure. Because MJF is the perfect person to have a belt.
Yeah, well, and, like, he beat Hangman for the Dynamite Diamond Ring the one time.
Yep.
So you can, like, they got some history, and then, I don't know, maybe, like, MJF wins it, and you might actually have Hangman be the first one to be, like, a 2-time champ, or he gets it back from MJF one day.
Sure.
But I don't know. I mean, they have so many people who are, you could get credible to be the world champion. Like, how long, like, eventually someone's going to have to be a 2-time champion, so I don't know.
Yeah, this whole of, giving it to different people. It's like, well, no, you should have someone that's just dominant, that's really good at, getting belts.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you want to establish, like, your world title is a serious thing and not have it change hands all the time initially.
Sure.
So, but I think a short reign and then somebody getting it back, I think now you could probably do that. It wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone has to have it for 2 years.
Yes. I mean, it's good that it's been that way because it's set up now. But yeah, I'm totally okay with, like, a flip flop at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. But holy crap, Moxley just obliterated 10. Like, I don't even know if 10 did a move.
I don't think he did, actually. Yeah.
Like, he just wrecked him. So yeah, we'll see. We got Cody and Arn coming out.
Yeah.
And it's
automatic.
It's big. Who
booze.
cares?
Automatic, just booze.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Cody's like, "You're not going to make me turn heel," but he's like, "I love you." So he's like insulting the fans, but then he also telling the fans that he loves them. And I'm thinking, you very much are a heel, dude. I mean, you act like a heel. So if that's what the purpose of this is a guy who's delusional doesn't know that he's a heel. I don't know.
Well, I mean, at this point, because the way he's acknowledging it, there's obviously a plan for something.
Yes. Hope the plan is Arn turns on him because
I hope the plan is executed soon.
Yes. I don't like Arn with Cody. It just feels wrong.
Yes.
I hope he turns on Cody or
Oh,
something. I don't know, something.
One of them needs to turn on the other at some point.
I mean, I was hoping that. Yeah, I mean, Cody turning on Arn would definitely make him more of a heel, I guess.
Well, it would be interesting to do. Now, we haven't seen Brock Anderson in a while, but
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that he will at least be serviceable.
Yeah.
Promo-wise, if he can be anywhere close to Arn, it'll
Yeah.
be fine. But if they were to switch things up to where Cody is in the Anderson type role and Brock is in the Dusty type role,
Yeah.
like, so for this generation, like, Cody is always the dastardly one to Brock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that would be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be like you said. Something needs to happen because
Yeah.
I'm getting tired of the
This
whole.
feels like before crowds came back holding pattern,
Yes.
and it doesn't need to be
No. No.
at all.
No.
But yeah, so I'm going to guess we're going to get Pac and Cody against Black and Andrade.
Sure.
Like, I don't know what else you do, but all right. So, final match that some people seem to just hate because of the costumes. Dark Order versus the Elite.
Yeah.
Did this make you hate wrestling and then try to time travel to take out Tony Khan before he was born?
So I mean, I've not read anything about the hate.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would hate it. I mean, I don't think it was the greatest match ever.
Right. I mean, I don't think it was supposed to be the greatest match ever.
Yeah, I mean, I from what I've read, I guess they were supposed to do Squid Game
Yeah.
costumes, and then Warner Brothers nixed it, which I understand.
Yeah.
Why Warner Brothers would nix it. Yeah.
Ghostbusters is fine. Ninja Turtles would have been better.
Yes.
I mean, they did the shell smash with the proton packs. Yeah, like, I don't know. I enjoyed this. Like, as soon as I found out it was like a costume thing,
Yeah.
I was like, well, this isn't going to be like a blood feud serious fight. It's going to be we don't like each other, but it's going to be ridiculous.
Well,
My first clue was the Dark Order was involved. My second clue is the Elite were involved.
Yes. Well, and I'm like, okay, if you want to get Hangman in there, you would do a costume. Which, as soon as I saw Stay Puft, I was like, yeah, that's Hangman.
I unfortunately, because I was having to watch it from a recording, somehow I saw a thumbnail, or I saw something that keyed me off that was going to be it.
Yeah.
And the fact that he didn't have like things to spray, like the freeze spray, so it couldn't have been Cutler.
Brandon Cutler is terrible. Is a terrible actor. He is. I mean, he needs to go back and watch. I don't know, man. Just like, okay, you're overdoing it. Yeah, you're tied up. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine. Like, he's just like the crony stooge. But yeah, I mean, like, the match itself was fine. It broke down and the Elite cheated like you expected.
Do you think, not to cut you off, but do you think they warned Cutler, like, hey, if you take on this role as our stooge, you are probably always going to be a stooge. No one's going to take you serious ever in wrestling.
I don't know that Cutler was in the position where he was like, one day I'm going to be the world champion here. So I'm sure he was like, oh, I'm going to make this work. And honestly, if for some reason they let him go from AEW, like, Brandon Cutler, both contracts that he has have been terminated.
Yes.
Is he worth more money on the indies as Stooge Cutler for your top heel?
Yeah.
Or Dragon Suit Cutler who never won a match?
Oh, I mean, he's definitely would fit in a role for WWE. WWE would definitely use him for something as a goober. So yeah,
Like, he's perfect as is it. His name is.
Yeah.
Change his name.
Yeah.
Camden Butler. You're gonna wear a butler suit.
Yes.
Oh man, but yeah. So yeah, you get the reveal with Hangman where he cannot get his feet out of the costume.
Yeah, that's all that. Yeah.
I like that he used the Deadeye to finish off Kenny.
Yeah.
I don't really care for that move, but it is super easy to get into.
Sure.
But it's one of those, like, I don't know, the pile driver moves, because I'm old,
Yeah.
just, they worry me. Especially when they're done quick that somebody's going to get stung.
The Deadeye is definitely something, if you are not paying attention, you could hurt somebody pretty badly.
Yes. I mean, he seems to be fine doing it. Or
Yeah.
I don't know if I said Kenny, it was Matt.
Yeah.
All the Elite look the same when they're dressed in the same clothing.
Yes. Well, Tony Schiavone made the same problem. he kept calling Matt Adam Cole. So.
Yeah. But yeah, so Dark Order gets a win.
Now, did you see? I didn't see this. Did you see that Kenny Omega was getting kind of upset with Adam Cole and the Young Bucks?
Like, was this during the match or?
Apparently during the match, they said Kenny was getting upset that the Young Bucks was kind of like leaving Kenny Omega out of the things with Adam Cole. I didn't see this. It makes me want to rewatch it.
I mean, that makes sense. Like,
they're building up that where Adam Cole's going to turn or Kenny Omega's going to turn. Somebody's going to turn.
Right. Well, if there's any truth to Kenny Omega, because Kenny Omega has been on, held together with like Scotch tape for 6 years now, it feels like.
Yes.
If there's any truth to that, and if he loses to Hangman, he's taking time off.
Yeah.
I can totally see that'll get ramped up or something, and then it ends up being Kenny versus Hangman with no help.
Sure.
Where like they're on the way to, like, they're coming out to help Kenny maybe, and then Adam Cole's like, no, let him do it on his own or something like that. One of those deals.
Kenny Omega definitely has been wrestling. He's definitely a full-time champion. He's been wrestling, I think, for about a year now for like all kinds of promotions. So.
Yeah. Well, like, that's the thing is, like, you keep hearing about he's supposedly hurt. Not a lot indicates that to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's just like a rumor that they probably started to make it seem more likely that he's going to lose the belt every time.
Yeah.
But either way, so like, I don't know. I like this because like Dark Order got a win against the Elite, which is big, but the way they did it, it's not like the overpowering story. Like, if they would have won like the one match where they got like the tag belt match and like Hangman got the world title match, like that would have been like a big moment win. This is just kind of like a win to get them back going.
Yep.
Like, I don't know if that makes any sense, but like,
it
wasn't like a statement win. It was just like, almost like sometimes like you'll see that in WWE where they'd have like a holiday show where somebody would get a win. Like, it's there, but it's not quite the same.
Yep.
So the only other thing we saw, and we talked about it earlier, was Rampage with Danielson and Eddie.
Yep.
That was a good match.
It was good.
Like, drop kick, top rope suplex. That was about it for your big stuff.
And I don't watch anything else.
Daniel Bryan's gonna have some kind of like chest cancer from all his chops.
Yeah, he definitely likes the chops.
I mean, to be fair, if you're looking for like the easiest thing that's gonna show damage to you, I would much rather take like chops to the chest than like have to be concussed or something. So let's see. But yeah, so at this point, do you still think Hangman is going to be our champion? Full year?
Even more so than I already thought.
Yeah. I did like he tweeted out like later that day or something. It was like how to get inflatable costume off feet or something like that.
Yeah.
So
he's definitely. I think him and MJF is going to be your top players in AEW in the future. I think.
I would say so because, like, I mean, Punk and Danielson are going to be a big deal, but they're not. I would expect they won't be around nearly as long.
They're as you would say, the wheels on those cars are getting ready to fall off. They ain't got too much longer, so
Yeah, I think Danielson could definitely have longer than Punk, but
yeah.
like I mean, Punk's going pretty. Like he's got a match every week.
Sure, yeah. I mean, Punk is like Jericho. I don't know how much more longer you're going to see these guys. Right. But then again, Sting is still running around, so I mean, who knows?
I mean, the way they're doing Sting, like, Punk could do it till he's 50 if he's in shape, if they treat him like Sting, where he does something once every 6 months.
I read on Instagram, somebody was like, the way they're doing Sting is dirty. I was like, well, the dude is old. I mean, what do you want? I mean, he's not going to be the 80s Sting.
How are they doing him dirty?
I guess
was
they
there
wanted
elaboration on that?
I want to say it was something where MJF was fighting. He beat the crap out of Sting. I think that's what it was.
Right.
And I think he, in his mind, he wanted Sting to be more in the title picture. And I'm thinking, no, you don't want Sting in the title picture.
No. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love like Sting to fall into a Lazarus pit and be back to, full head of hair and younger,
sure.
But,
I mean, if you wanted to, yeah. But you're not getting the '90s Sting of fighting the NWO yeah.
Well, I don't want Sting in the world title picture. Now, if you want to give him a world title match against somebody, and then just crush him to prove a point, or for him, to get like a good showing, it'd have to be someone like MJF who would challenge Sting because he thinks it's an easy win. And then he finds out it's a little bit harder than he thought. Like, because he's trying to get out of having a real match, something like that. Like, that's fine. But, I mean, honestly, like, I think the way they've done Sting is excellent because they kind of rehabilitated Sting into, like, being a thing again, to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how other people see that. But, I mean, he's looked good every time he's done something. They don't let him talk very much.
And teaming him with Darby Allin is good.
Yeah.
Because Darby does all the stupid stuff, and Sting, gets benefit of it.
Yeah,
so.
Sting gets to be cool uncle. So.
Yep.
All right.
I think we're done because we've been rambling for too long.
Forever. Man, I truly hope that someone is like a huge Predator fan, and they tune in just to hear us talk about Predator. And then they're just angry. Because they're probably still angry right now if that happened. Like,
all I can say is Arnold fought a Predator that was a veteran, and Danny Glover must have fought a Predator that was a rookie or something because Danny Glover took it to that Predator.
He whooped that Predator to death.
Yeah, he did.
All
That
right.
and Gary Busey.
All right. We are out of here. Should be back next week.
Oh, yeah. Happy Halloween, everybody.